or MLK. But he brings to us, spiced with humor, a valuable life lesson. He learned from childhood experiences and passion to handle life's challenges. As I read from his words, it is my wish that each of you will dredge up some of your own life experiences and examine how you use them. First, Joe takes you through the experiences. Then he shares how he used them to be a successful owner of an advertising agency. Joe tells us, this is for you, Richard. I've always had a special fondness for chickens. Live ones, cooked ones, even rubber chickens. Although I must tell you, I'm not too fond of the idea of chicken fingers and chicken nuggets. I would think twice about eating any such thing. Now, when I was a boy, we always had chickens walking around in the yard. I liked the way they walked, deliberately pecking here and there. I had a rooster as a pet once growing up. Well, he couldn't see too well, and if he happened to wander under the house, he would think it was nighttime, and he'd stay under there forever. Well, then I would miss him, and I would have to go out under the house and drag him out. Then he would crow at 3 in the afternoon. My father said that he'd be good to have if you worked second shift at the mill. It would help you get up. Now, when I was 10 years old, my friend and I decided to go into the chicken business. We saved our money, we bought 10 hens and a bag of food. Since chickens cost more than eggs, our plan was to sell chickens, raise them, sell them. We fixed nets with wooden boxes, and we fixed a little perch so they could go up there, and sooner or later they began to lay eggs. Now, we wanted them to sit on the eggs because we wanted to raise chicks and raise money right away. Well, they laid eggs, but they wouldn't sit in the nest. We didn't know a lot about the chicken business, you can tell, but we knew they had to sit on that egg. So I mentioned this to my father, and without any explanation, my father said, "You need a rooster." Well, we didn't have money to buy a rooster, so we went next door with a sack and we chased down our neighbor's rooster just to borrow him for a while. Well, when he came over there, I'm telling you, those hens squawked and danced around and had a good time, and shortly after his arrival, they sat on the eggs. Imagine that. And cash registers began to ring in our ear. We let them sit for a week or so. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how long it would take for a chick to pop out, and we'd start making money. Well, after 2 weeks, we got bored, and we got an egg out and cracked it open, and there was a half live chicken. Well, we had to bury it, and we prayed for forgiveness. We finally got 3 chicks, but not before our shed neighbor discovered his rooster and took him back. As long as I can remember, we had chicken for Sunday dinner, and trust me, those hens we had became Sunday dinner one after the other. It's like going to church. We had chicken every Sunday right after church. Sometimes it was baked, sometimes fried, and sometimes boiled and dumplings. What I didn't like about the chicken business was having to kill them. We knew that they were pecking around in the yard. I had no emotional attachment to chickens. I just liked them and was fascinated, but I didn't like killing them. My grandmother or my mother would send me outside to do the dirty deed. I'd toss out a few grain of corn, and the chickens would come running. Part I disliked was deciding who was going to be it. There's a lot of pressure in making lifetime decisions. A lot of pressure. There was certainly no time to say eeny, meeny, miny, moe. You had to be quick. Corn ran out, the chickens left. So, that's what I did. My grandmother also, if company was coming, it had to be 2 or 3 chickens, which upped the pressure considerably. And she made me hang them upside down. It looked like upside down feathered laundry. Plucking was no fun either. You could pluck them off by the handsful, but all the feathers wouldn't come out, and you had to singe them and give them to my grandmother, and she inspected them. Years later, I no longer killed chickens. I became owner of an advertising agency, and I noticed that every time I had problems, I'd grit my teeth and tighten my fists. I mentioned that to a friend, and he said, I said, you know, this happened every time I had to murder a chicken when I was a little boy. And he said, you know, you need to get yourself a rubber chicken. I had my secretary get me one. I put it in the credenza behind my desk. And there it was. And when a disgruntled employee came in, swivel around, get the chicken, lay it on my desk, and they'd walk away, many times without me saying a word. I hardly ever had to wring the chicken's neck, except when the problem was on the phone. Now, the rubber chicken philosophy is a good management tool. All the department managers eventually had one, and there were many of our clients who adopted this philosophy. I'm considering, Joe said, of writing a book called Rubber Chicken Management. You know, stress is a big problem in the workplace and in life. Although I think you'd have to be a country boy to really appreciate how stress relieving it can be to wring a chicken's neck.